Okay, so the first video is going to be on the content check. I just want to go through and just make sure you understand the directions. So the idea is on the first 5 to not use a calculator. If you need to use one, that's okay, but on the test you would not be able to use a calculator on these. When you get to 6 or 7, you'll want to use your calculator though. So, the idea is I want you guys to tell me, estimate the following values by using inequality signs. So the square root of 12. I don't know what the square root of 12 is, what it's worth, unless I had the calculator. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick 2 square roots that I know the square root of, and this would be, for instance, on your extra credit quiz. So I'm going to pick a square root that's bigger than 12 that I know, and a square root that's smaller than 12 that I know. So a square root that's bigger than 12 is the square root of 16, and a square root that's smaller than 12 that I know is 9. And I want to pick immediately one smaller and one higher, but I'm picking these because these have perfect square roots. So I can figure out that the square root of 12 is going to be somewhere in between 3 and somewhere into between 4. So it's 3 point something. So the idea is to do the same problem here. So for instance, 4 to the 3 halves. I don't know what 4 to the 3 halves is. It is 3 halves is worth 1.5. So what I want to do is pick 4 with a power that's bigger than 1.5 and 4 with a power that's smaller than 1.5 that I could do in my head. So smaller than 1.5 is 1 and bigger than 1.5 is 2. And now your job is to tell me what 4 to the 3 halves would be in between. And then the same thing here. All right, so I'll let you do number 3 on your own. So the idea is now tell me what these are worth, but without a calculator and no estimation. So the idea is you're going to rewrite these 2, so that it looks like number 5. Because once you rewrite these, and we've talked about where these numbers go, and you can look in your notes in section 5.1, look at your table of contents if you don't remember. But the idea is once the problem's written like this, I know what the cubed root of 27 is without a calculator. That's an expectation I have of you. That's 3, and then I can take 3 and square it, and I know that this is worth 9. So just if you want to know what this looks like as an exponent, 27 to the 2/3 power is worth 9. And then the last one, the idea here is you're going to find all the real solutions. I don't want any imaginary. And you're going to round your answers to 3 decimal places, but I actually don't think you don't have any decimals, so you won't have to worry about that. And again, you're just going to work backwards to get the order of operations, work backwards in the order of operations to get x by itself. So here they are. And the first thing I would move here is the 7 because it's being added, and so is this, but this is in the parentheses, so I'm gonna not do that yet. That'll be in my parentheses step. So I'm gonna subtract 7, and that gives me 250. And then, for instance, I would move the multiplication division, so I divide by -2. And I get -125. And now to get rid of the 3rd power, I will be cube rooting. And this will work. You need to get your calculator, take the cube root of -125, and then finish the problem. And then the same for number 7. All right, so that is the video for your content check. When you're done, turn it into the box, make sure your name's on it, and then pick up on the next video.